next question comes from Beth K, 33 years old, from Birmingham, Alabama. Let's see what Beth has to say. I've been an elementary school teacher for the last 10 years. I love working with kids, but the money is terrible. My wife was a teacher, so I understand that. I'm thinking about getting into the business world, specifically sales. What do you think? Well, I have a motto that says, if you love something, you can be great at it. And if you're great at it, money will be attracted to you. Now, that bumps up against a wall a little bit with teaching because in a traditional teaching route, which is teaching at a public school, you are part of a union. And in a union, not to hate on unions, but your pay increase each year is only going to be X%, right? So no matter how good of a teacher you are or how bad of a teacher you are, your pay is not really impacted. Now, if you're a private school teacher, that's a little bit different, but they're not paying huge sums of money either. So I totally understand what you're saying because, as I mentioned earlier, my wife was a teacher when we had our first child, and she actually got laid off right before she was about to be tenured, right? They laid off all the teachers that were about to be tenured. If you don't know what tenured means, it basically means that you have security, right? That they're not able to let you go, at least not very easily. So anyway, to just explain for those that don't know, and I know that Beth, you know this very well, the pay that some teachers get, when she was collecting unemployment, it was basically the same amount of money that she was getting as a teacher. And unemployment's not that much money. So just to give you an example of how much money some of these teachers make. So anyway, I know what you're saying. Here's the thing, couple of routes that you could take. Now, one, you could look to supplement your income as a teacher with other income in ways that leverages your experience and your passion for working with kids. You can do something as simple as tutoring on the side. We know some people in our neighborhood that make great money tutoring the kids, whether it be reading, math, whatever it is, SAT prep, things of that nature. They make great money doing that. Something else that you could do is if you want to be even more ambitious, you could start your own company around education, right? Whether that be opening a school, like a charter school, a preschool, something of that nature. Those folks make a lot of money, and also they get to be around kids and still live their passion. Or you could do something even more robust and start something like an educational software company, right? I don't know your skill set, but these are things that you can start to think of. Basically, using your experience and the skills that you have in figuring out how can I make supplemental income with that, and even go beyond supplemental, right? If you were to start your own business, that goes beyond that. And you can still do what it is that you love. Now, the second option would be you can go into sales. However, you need to recognize that sales is vastly different from teaching, right? People get into teaching because it's a calling. It's something they love. They're passionate about it. People don't get into teaching because of the money, right? Now, you may not have known how much money you would make exactly and how that would actually flow into your life as you get older and you start having kids and whatever else is you have going on, your mortgage, whatever. And now it's a reality. But at the same time, people don't get into teaching for the money, okay? So there is some calling there. There is a purpose that you have. Understand that it is vastly different when you get into the business world. The business world can be harsh, frankly. Sure, you can go make much more money, but there's a lot more pressure. It's a little bit more cutthroat. It moves at a much faster pace. And you would have to decide, are you willing to make that complete change for whatever it is that you want, right? A couple more vacations a year, better clothes, a better car, or just even, maybe you don't even want those things. Maybe you just want more cushion financially to feel more secure, right? And that's perfectly fine. So it's okay for any of those reasons. All I'm saying is just be prepared and know that you're walking into a vastly different world. If you are okay with that, perfectly fine. I actually know a woman who did this and she seems to enjoy her sales career very much. But I also know people who are teachers and I don't think they would fare very well in that world. Not because they don't have the skills or they can't do it. It just doesn't fit with their personality, right? So You have to think about, what are your priorities, right? Is your number one priority to increase your income and make more money? Is your number one priority to do something that you love and enjoy? Can you blend those two together, right? It sounds like you want more money and perfectly understand that. I would maybe think about, are there ways that you can still be a teacher or within that world and make more money? Again, something like tutoring, or do you make a big leap and open up your own school, or even go further and design some type of educational software, right? There's things like that that you can do to dramatically change your financial future and also still be within the world that you love and still be working with kids and helping people. If you do want to go into something like sales, you can also work in something like educational sales, right? There are salespeople who go sell things like educational software to schools and things of that nature. So you're still slightly within that world. So I would just, if I were you, I'd look and say, what are my priorities and how does that align with my future? You got into teaching for a reason, okay? I'm assuming you had that calling, you had that purpose. Now, it doesn't mean that it's still your calling, right? I know I've talked before about your dream career, your dream vocation can change, and that's perfectly fine because we go through different seasons of life. Maybe what you thought was your dream career at 24 years old is not the same at 34 years old, right? And so do you want to leave teaching because you want more money, or are there other problems with it, right? You're not really vibing with the kids anymore. You don't want to take care of other people's kids. You're not wanting to deal with the politics of being a teacher, right? If those were the main reasons, I'd say, yeah, then you are probably done with being a teacher and you should go look somewhere else. But if you still love teaching every day, you love being with the kids, and it's the money that's the issue, I would start to look at how can you use your current skill set and your experience to supplement your income. So you have a lot of options. Take some time to think about it, and you will find your path. I promise you that, right? It sounds like you're already on that path because you're thinking about it. And taking the first step is really the most important thing. So you're in a good spot. Start to just think, what are your priorities and how do you want your future to look? Start doing research, looking into other people who have gone on and done tutoring, people who have started their own school, people that have started their own educational software company, right? Whatever that is. And then talk to some people who are in sales. Talk to all those people and get a feel for their experience, how their life looks. Is that something that you would want to replicate? That's a great place to start. So you're on a good path simply because you're starting, and you're going to be okay. So do that research, and I'm sure you'll find your path.